Hi everyone and welcome to another FM26 beta video here on Vanilla FM, and today we're going to take another look at transfers. So yesterday, after all the work that I was doing, the game crashed, so I tried to get it to the same spot we were in yesterday. So I tried also doing a few... Oh, hang on, we'll skip that for now. Doing a few offers as well. So if you go to transfer activity, I've got 3 offers in place just so to test that mechanic. Now, I believe these two, even though I offered what they... So, for example, Sean Hogan, even though I offered what they wanted, they went away and thought about it without giving me an answer. So it wasn't like successful straight away. I don't like that particularly. Simone, I offered 30% less than they asked, which normally would just be like, no, we're not doing that in FM24. But in yesterday's offer, they went away and thought about it, which is okay. And then Joshua Berry is just a contract offer. So that's okay. So that is still working in the same way as before. So now I also did, if you go to transfer room in, put out some... Oh, we've got loads of responses. Wow. Okay. That's really great. Hopefully these guys will turn up in the database as well. So can we sort them by... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Don't know what that was. See, what I wanted to do is sort by... There we go. Yeah. And then you can either filter, maybe? No. I wanted to see attributes. So this page here, I would like to see overview, attributes, physical. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So this is the view I want to have. So for the Hereford save this year, what I would like to do is exploit what we believe to be a trend, that physical attributes are the most important. And I've been having great success. Actually, I did an experiment over the summer in FM24. I want to see if the same replicates in FM26. So there we go. Before we get too deep into this transfers room and doing any more transfer offers, what I need to do first, and I think in FM26 this is actually going to be harder, I'm going to have to rate my players. I always do that. First of all, I look at my players. Now, I want to go to edit, make sure that Hereford players are not excluded. And then I want to add here a condition, club. I'm going to move it to the top. Okay, this is broken. Go to top. Okay, fine. Contains Hereford. Okay, apply. Oh no, actually, let's start with goalkeepers. So, position, goalkeepers. And that's, yeah, all of the physical attributes are ticked. Now normally, so you see that in the background here, there's no one is showing. Let's apply that. Let's remove not considered. Yeah, that's okay. So that's a bug, that should just be not considered. Anyway, and then we start decreasing the attributes, but I think this button here for plus and minus should be within this page, and I'm really annoyed that it isn't within this page, because it doesn't allow for this page to flow. So what you want to be doing is having this button appear somewhere and go minus, 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 plus, 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 and then you can see players populating the list much easier than having to go into one click, edit search, another click, quick pick, then you do your clicking up and down, and then you still have to apply. So that's a third click. 3 clicks to do something that used to take no clicks. So that is really annoying. So let me just start again. So goalkeeper, just to make sure that these are working as expected, I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, okay. It seems to be working as expected. I suppose the other way I could do this, just to go back to the squad screen, so first team, and let's see if this is working actually. We're going to go to, see, this is working as expected, that's fine. Attributes, physical. And you could, the thing is, it then removes the playing position, so then we need to add the playing position. Okay, okay, do we just have to rely on manager's assessment of best position? And then we lose the names. God. We lose the names. Okay, that's not very helpful. So if you do that, you lose the names. And then if you do that, it just breaks the whole game. Oh, okay. Right, guys, honest conversation here now. I don't recommend you buying the game at all. Okay, the game is broken beyond belief. I have been playing for 4 days now, and I still haven't played a match, and I come across loads of bugs. I basically spend more time reporting bugs than playing the game. Okay, it's back now. Right, so this is another way you could do it. You could order by best position, and you could just go Theo 6. Rather than, this might be quicker than going through the recruitment. The only thing is, with the recruitment, what I can do as well, if you go up here, rather than saying it's natural can play, that gives you more flexibility and allows you to see players that can play over multiple positions. So that's the reason I do it like this. At least I did in FM24 and all of the previous versions behind that had the player database displayed in this way. So the game's a bit broken. Right. Apply. So we got, I usually keep myself a little note and I start to populate it. And let me see if this still works. No. Previously, you'd be able to copy the player name. No, I can't do that. So this is I'm gonna have to type out the individual player name. You can't hover to copy the player's name. That's gonna be a feature request for me. Let me just do a small screenshot so that I can request that as a feature, because this is now going to take forever to copy the players' names across to my spreadsheet. So he's Theo Richardson, and he's got 6 of fitness. The lowest is lowest fitness attribute has the value of 6, and Ollie Lewis, who I believe is in the under 18s actually. Right, yeah, let's promote him up for a minute. Move the senior squad, and he's got an attribute. By the time I've made all these clicks, I've forgotten what number it was, so that's why it needs to be on this screen. Okay, and 2, right? Only yes, 2. I won't take you through the tedious process of me analyzing all of my players and so on. So we'll leave that for now. What I am going to do is attend the conference. So let's go back to the portal, and it's here, I think. Have I met the players? I've met the players. I've done that. Okay, that was quite an interesting conversation, actually. I'll show it in the Football Manager save that I'm doing separately on my other channel. It's called Football Manage Her, and it's all about women's leagues. And in that one, I do everything on screen, so it's like play it as live. Obviously, still broken down into episodes of roughly 20 minutes to half an hour. But yeah, so on here, I'm going to be doing some stuff off camera just to kind of keep the game moving along a little bit. So I've met the players, and that conversation was very interesting. It will be the same model in the other save if you go across and watch it on Football Manager, but it essentially just allows you to explain your personality to the player. So there's nothing to do with promises or anything like that. It's just all your personalities that you've decided when you created your manager. That gives you little prompts with sentences, and you can introduce yourself that way to the players. I think actually that's better than going through promises at that stage, because you don't know the players, you don't know the squad. So it allows you to actually explain, I'm going to be playing an attacking style, driven, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's meet the conference. Let's meet the press. Let's see what this is like. Press conference. Here we are. So okay, let's kick it off. I've got a question from the non-league paper. Didn't even know that was a thing. So this is Wayne Rimmer. Welcome. First of all, how do you feel sat here as a new Hereford manager? I'm going to say, I know what sort of challenge I'm in for, but I'm embracing it. That's what brought me here. What attracted you to Hereford? I'm going to say, everyone's trying to develop and better themselves. I think this is a club that shares those values. Hopefully we can all move forwards together. What made you sure this is the right job? I think these answers are bad, as in like it's got nothing to do with the question. So not from my perspective. Hang on, he hasn't given you his perspective, so how? This makes no sense. That also makes no sense. Okay. That one. Many people are wondering what a manager like you. So this goes back to the first episode where I was saying. Why is that? Okay. I'm a very experienced manager. I'm a very good manager. So why on earth would I end up somewhere like Hereford? And I knew this question was going to come up. So So this is where I need to be. There's no lack of ambition. I intend to take this club as high as I can. Okay. Also, just to say, this is where you find the Storm Out and No Comment buttons. You probably saw that as I clicked on it. We're led to believe that you're quite heavily focused on fitness. Yes, that's true. I designed the whole save around using fitness as the driving force. That is true. How do you intend to factor that into your day-to-day management? Okay, let's see what the responses we have. It's obviously something different. It's obviously something different to most managers, but it's an increasingly important aspect of the game. It's something I take very seriously. I intend to build a physical, dominant team capable of answering any questions asked of it. I don't think... Okay, I have my personal preferences and individual knowledge, but it's getting harder to keep footballers at a high level of fitness, so with the demands being placed on them. It's been a big part of what we do, but don't neglect other areas. I think I'm going to go with this one. You do have some connection with England. Does that help at all with your acclimatization to the job? I think it has to. I do indeed have some association with the country, and that should do me feel. Certainly hope so. I can't say I've even begun to consider that. Where do you pluck that question from? I mean, yeah, okay, fine. What do you think of the Hereford squad? I'm gonna give a positive response just because I don't want to upset the players. So, but I'm not going to go with terrific squad because I know I'm going to do a high turnover of players at the same time. So, I want to get to know every player, and I will. But for the time being, I believe we've got a very good squad here. How about this one? I don't know the answer to that question yet. The players will have to show me day in, day out on the training pitch. I think everyone knows that I'll eventually get into the transfer market and look to bring in quality where I can. Ooh, I like that. Even I know it's negative, but I do like that. Okay, I think I need to answer that. Have you had a chance to meet the players yet? And what do you make them in general right now? Well, they didn't really answer anything, so they know me, but I don't really know them. Well, I think they said they were excited for a fresh start. Maybe I see a squad full of players who want to impress, giving themselves a chance to do best. Only very briefly, I can't comment properly on the mood. This could be a tough time for players. It comes in a little certainty, but here I'm here to work with them rather than against them. I look forward to that. When I had the chance to speak to everyone properly, it's on my to-do list. I'm thinking I'm going to go with that one. What would you say? Would you like to say anything to the Hereford fans? This is one of the most dedicated fan bases in the world. I won't say that. I have to prove to them that I'm the right manager. No, I don't. Any club's fans are the life and soul of the community, and there's no different here. We need them. They need us. We're on the same side. I want that feeling of unity. Their support and unity will be important in me getting off to a good start. Okay, where do you think you can take this club? We need to aim high and set ambitious targets. That's how we'll get to where we want to be. We want to win things, we want to be successful, and we've laid out plans. Okay. We have to learn to walk before we can run. I'll make sure the work we do in the short term set us up for the future. I think I need to start with that. What's your approach on the training ground? Expect a certain standard of hard work from everyone. It's not negotiable as far as I'm concerned. Expect a certain level of effort and commitment from every player, every coach and every employee. That's how we'll improve. We're going to have to wait and see on that. We'll be sensible. Obviously, everyone has to be prepared to work hard, but I'd like to think we're going to a smart and forward-thinking approach. There's always a balance to be made between hard work and rest. I'm cautious not to overwhelm the players at this point. I think I'm going to go with that one. How valuable is a young and dynamic star like Matt Richards? I don't even know who that is for you to build a club. Shall we have a look at Matt before I talk about him? Matt Richards is... okay, he might stick around actually. He's got pretty good physical attributes. Oh, hello. Hang on, we can do a quick search. So if we go to here, and we can quickly see whether we're likely to have him. Where was he? A DM? Yeah, we're likely to stick with him. Okay, there he is, Matt Richards. Oh, hang on, I need to do that. And I need to do that. Okay, maybe not so likely. Let's increase this. Yeah, don't know. Let's find... where's Matt again? I lost him. Matt Richards. What else can he play? Nothing else useful. Yeah, okay. Attend press conference. Alright. I'm gonna be neutral. We have a very talented squad. No, we don't. I won't complain about having the sort of stallion squad, but we need to harness everyone's ability. I don't want to disappoint everyone in the squad by ignoring them, so I try not to focus on the individuals. Okay. I'm gonna be that. Have you decided if Lewis will be your captain? I haven't made any decisions regarding captaincy yet. I have. It's not going to be him, but I'm not going to say that. Oh, actually, I can't say that. This one feels... Okay. It's too soon to say either way. I need to get a feel for relationships in the squad. No, I think I'm going to go with that one, because he does have very good relationships in the squad, so I'm not going to say that. So I'm going to go there. How would you go about improving the squad? I think goalkeeping, by what we saw, might need. It's just one guy. This is not how press conferences work. You have multiple newspapers asking questions, not just one guy taking the whole floor for like half an hour. With word coming out of the club that you have convinced the Hereford board to do things your way, how confident are you bringing success to the M&M Edgar Street Stadium? I think it's important to control what success looks like. If I'm here to achieve big things, I think the least the club can do is allow me to provide a balanced perspective. Okay. I have a clear vision of what I want to achieve, and it's important to start on the right note. It's not about any one group or individual claiming victory now. It's about making sure we're all on the same page, pulling together. I'm going to go with that, because I do have a clear vision. What are the pressures that come with trying to combine short-term success with long-term ambition? I think everyone from the board right down to the very last member of staff has to fully commit to the project. Everyone has to pull in the same direction. I don't like that. It can be hard not to become fixated on long term and forget that you need to put the building blocks in place. We want to be ambitious, but there's a process to go through to get there. I know short-term success has to come first. If you try to run before you can walk, you'll fall flat on your face. I'm torn between that one or that one. I think the building blocks need to be in place. Building blocks. Has the club provided the resources for you to adequately challenge for those long-term objectives? Not really, actually. I have everything I need. Nope. Feel well backed at this point. We'll have to ensure we make competitive off the pitch if we're going to move forward. This one's quite good. You don't need to get into that. Everyone knows how the club operates, and I'm sure there will be discussions at the appropriate time. We'll wait and see. I don't have any issues right now, but that probably won't be the case. I'm going to go with the positive response. Sorry, I'm getting a little sleepy doing this. Do you believe the club's long-term plan is realistically attainable? Yes, I think it's well within our reach. More importantly, we have to believe we're capable of getting there. Remember, at this point, the journalist is talking about, I believe, staying in the league. We can definitely do that. Okay. Have you been able to influence the club's long-term plans very much? No. I haven't, but I hope to have my say in the future. It's important for my voice to be heard. I don't want to say anything negative though. I won't go into too much detail, but I do think it's important for managers to get involved. We're the ones who have to carry out the job. I'm fortunate to have asked for my thoughts, and I greatly respect the clubs for bringing me into those discussions. No, that one. Are you fully on board with the club's stated long-term plans. Absolutely 100%. I couldn't be more excited about what the club is aiming to achieve, and I want to be at the forefront and center making it. Okay, this is my answer here. This club has enormous potential, even beyond its current standing, and I'm keen to work towards realizing it. Okay. What is it that makes you prepared to go all in? This is very long already. Wow. I genuinely believe that there's untapped potential at this club. There's so much more to do, and I won't stop in pursuit of it. I don't admire the board's vision. That's not realistic because they are too low. For a start, I want to keep my job. No. Okay, that one. What would you say your single style is as relates to people management? I want every player to know that they can come to me with anything. I think things work best when players feel valued. I don't think it's appropriate to discuss internal policy at the moment. I may occasionally get involved, but by and large that needs to be a degree of trust. I'm not going to watch over everything they do. They're all grown-ups, they can handle their own business. I think that one. Will your priority be doing well in the Enterprise North? For sure, the Enterprise North is the club's biggest priority. Thanks everyone, and that's it. Okay, so that was a very long press conference, and I don't like that it's just one journalist. It's not a press conference, that's an interview. Okay, so SI needs to learn the difference between an interview and a press conference. A press conference, you got multiple papers. It might be TV stations, it might be radio stations, multiple different outlets asking you questions. That was just one paper. Now it might be because we're such a low league club that only one paper was interested in being there. But I'm sure like there's Hereford radio stations and small other papers that I know of as well in Hereford that would like to be there. Now, that might be that those aren't in the game, but they could, they could make those up. I don't know. Anyway, it's not a press conference. It's just an interview. I'm going to leave it there. In the background, what I'll do all the squad assessment like I was doing at the start of the game and complete this list that I have here on the side. And I'll go through some more recruitment that way, so I'll start putting together where is it, transfer activity. So I'll start assessing some of these guys, but also putting together some more bids for different positions that we have on a pitch that we want to fill. Essentially, I want to create the fittest club possible every season, and I think that is going to be the key for Hereford. I'm not going to play like that in the other save, the women's save. So in the women's save, I'm actually going to play in the same way that I played Hereford before, which is looking at the attributes for the specific positions. So I'm going to play like that in the women's save, but in the Hereford save, I'm going to play in the fitness-focused way. And I hope that makes sense. So if you haven't already subscribed to Football Manager, and you're interested in seeing how I'm going to play the game more, using like literally every feature of the game, so I'm going to get much more involved using scouts and using different elements of the game where I might not do that here. I'll still use the scouts, but I won't rely on their reports to hire to hire players. I suppose that's also a valid word. Yeah, so over there I'm going to be using all the scouting recommendations and etc. Over here I'm going to be doing much more limited subset of features just to get the game moving a bit more. We still haven't played a match. I'm hoping by the next episode we'll be ready to play a match. But yeah, thanks so much for watching until the end, and take care. Bye bye.